Today we're going to talk about attention. We'll discuss why is it important to attend to things, and we'll cover some good tips that may help you to sustain your attention. Sunlight can be very bright and fall on dry grass, and nothing will happen. But if you will concentrate it under the magnifying glass, in a very short period of time, you will get a fire. Same thing happens with your attention. When you jump from one thing to another without really focusing, without really concentrating, really processing information, it's impossible to really progress in your studies, in your relationships, in your self-growth. Attentional resources are limited, and information that bombarded you non-stop is unlimited. So what you will really learn, what you will really memorize, what you will process as information depends on your attention. Having limited attentional resources is not such a bad idea. It helps us to really focus on something and concentrate and process information that is interesting, and allows us to ignore what is not important at this moment. But what happens if all sorts of information are bombarding constantly our sensory organs? The informational load is so high. Students are especially vulnerable in this situation. On your attention depends your progress in school and depends your future career. You have to learn a lot of complex information, new complex information. Intuitively, you realize that having a cell phone next to you while you are studying is not the best idea. But you still see a lot of people reading the chapter while checking their streaks on Snapchat. Some people try to justify that and say that that's the habit they already have. Some people say that they're really good multitasking. Some people would say that, hey, I cannot study without having my YouTube video playing on the background. Well, let's look what happens in your mind when you do it. When you simultaneously try to read a new chapter book and listen some podcast or check your social medias, you have to switch attention back and forth from one thing to another. And during this process, your mind is very busy in detecting new information, visually, auditory, processing that information, categorizing that information, and your mind is using a lot of cognitive resources. Cognitive resources are assets used by your cognition to think, learn, make decisions, solve problems, and other important functions. According to research, excessive use of cognitive resources leads to many negative consequences. Well, think about it as mental exhaustion and mental energy depletion. Once you are at the level of depleted cognitive resources, you feel tired, you feel stressed, you feel irritated, you are easily distracted. And then what happens? You didn't do nothing much, you didn't feel like you worked, you didn't feel like you learned new information, but you are absolutely exhausted. By now, I really hope you understand how important it is to pay attention and to spend really focused and concentrated attention on one thing. But how to do that? Here are some tips that may be helpful for you. Let's see. We live in times of informational overload. So think about what are you attending to and what kind of information you're processing as your mental food. You are not eating everything that is in front of you. You are taking care of your body. You are really focused on your bodily hygiene. Focus on your mental hygiene too, and really select what do you attend to. Once you realize that you are bombarded by a lot of different information that is draining your resources, draining your mental energy, you can make some conscious moves and steps to limit that informational load. You can do very specific steps for that. First, put away your cell phone when you are studying. Lock it in, give it to your parent, give it to your partner, and make sure that you do not get it back until you decide to get it back. Don't try to trick yourself and don't tell yourself, okay, I'm gonna put this phone down, face down on my desk, and I'm not gonna look at it. You will. This phone is too strong of an attraction for you, so you would not open it and start scrolling through your texts. And only after you will go into 10 minutes of text scrolling, you will realize that you're doing that. So take it physically away from your room when you're studying. Install the software on your computer that will temporarily block websites that are distracting for you. Each of you has its own distracting website, whether Facebook or Reddit or whatever you are going automatically when you are getting too bored, when you are reading your assignments. So there are many of those softwares that you can install on your computer, and temporarily within very specific time will limit your access to those websites. Research says that using binaural beats within beta frequency from 13 to 30 hertz may increase productivity and mood. So please go ahead, find your binaural beat music or pure binaural beat noise. A few very important points here. First of all, you have to use headphones for that to work, and do not get discouraged if you listen to one specific recording and it doesn't work. Keep trying to find your own favorite frequency. Another strategy that is helpful for productivity and studying is the Pomodoro technique. What does it mean? You set up your goal and you start working on it 25 minutes. Then you take a break of 5 minutes and you go back to work another 25 minutes. And after 4 or 5 of those 25 minutes working times, you have longer break, about 15-20 minutes. And you then see your results and see how efficient it was. Here, a tip or suggestion from me: do not set up your timer on your phone, since, as we agreed already, your phone should be outside of this room. Set up the kitchen timer or something that you can find, so see if that will be helpful. So after all the strategies that will be implemented by you, the outcomes will be pretty impressive. You will have your work done, you will learn new information, really learn it, not just skim through it. It will decrease your stress, and your life quality will be better very soon. But the most important thing, I want you to think about why. Why do you want your attention to be focused? I want you to think about, why do you want to be a good student? Why do you want to learn what you're learning? And why is that important? Why is that important for you?